Portland's most famous gingerbread house is back at the Benson Hotel for the 53rd year.
This year's house was created by chef David Diffendorfer, who celebrates his 30th year of involvement in this holiday tradition. Tony has his story in today's Show and Tell.
So here we are, Dave. Great to see you again, man. I know you're busy this time of the year.
It's been crazy.
Elks Castle, beautiful.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Walk me around your home.
It turned out to be a loose interpretation of the castle. This castle's kind of football shaped with the courtyard in the middle, which is what you're seeing here. And I realized if I built it, this whole outside would just be one big giant wall.
I see.
So basically you're looking at half the castle.
150 pounds of gingerbread, 50 pounds of marzipan, 20 pounds of chocolate, 10 pounds of Rice Krispie treats.
Yes.
And obviously not edible at this point, but when you're working with 10 pounds of Rice Krispie treats, do you not like sample the goods a little bit?
No, actually when I was a pastry chef, I was one of those pastry chefs that really don't eat a lot of sweets.
Really?
Chocolate mousse, a different story.
And what happens when the holidays are over? I mean, and the display comes down, where does this all go?
All the trees and the hedges, I try and save because they actually take a long time to make.
Yeah.
And I need a lot of them.
And you can use those again.
Like these little ones, those are all hand carved from just scraps of gingerbread.
Wow.
So if I can keep a bunch of that in the freezer.
So do you have like a supply freezer of gingerbread house parts?
I asked the chef, he gives me a couple shelves, a couple sheet pans worth.
When people find out this is what you do they say, oh, dude, you got to do this castle, XYZ?
A lot of times.
A lot of times, yeah. And are any of those ideas ever any good?
No.
No.
Not usually. Although I did one time, it was one of the coolest things I ever heard. I did the Benson, and I had these big windows done in sheet gelatin, like up there so you could see through it.
Yeah.
I had the actual lobby built. And I was standing here, and this kid, he must have been about 8 years old. He said, "No, it'd be cool, chef." And he said, "If you put a gingerbread display inside the gingerbread display."
Whoa, meta.
Man, I just stood there stunned for about 30 seconds.
30 years now you've been doing this. I mean, to see the looks on the faces of the people.
Like I said, that's kind of the whole point of why I do this and why the hotel does it.
You're a part of a family tradition. It's got to just like touch your heart.
It's crazy. There are people who have kids who could have been brought here when they were infants.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. 30 years is a long time. We hope you keep on coming back and providing this joy.
I plan on 31 and more.
Right, and more. So, here we go. All right. Great to see you again.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Yeah, it's really fun standing in there with him when we were interviewing because everyone who comes up, of course, is looking at him and go, "This is the guy who made it." And they go, "Really? You know, a celebrity."
Yeah.
The first question everybody asks, how long did it take? Well, he starts around September, takes hundreds of hours actually altogether. They kind of piece it together in a room there at the Benson, and then they sort of assemble it there in the lobby.
You know, it's interesting to watch him too because he's kind of this big, strong guy, and you could see that he was getting choked up talking about just how meaningful this is for the community.
It really is. And he loves doing it. So.
And how many pounds of Rice Krispie treats?
10.
Because that's really light stuff.
That is light.
To get 10 pounds of Rice Krispie treats.
I see a coffee table book one day with all of his pictures of his gingerbread. Someday we need to get that made because he's a treasure in our community.
He really is.
That's a great piece, Tony.
I see a news desk made of Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah, and go check it out. It's in the Benson Hotel Grand Lobby. So yeah.
I'd be like this. You're so silly in the mornings. I just like take a little nibble off the set if that was the
computer won't come off of there.
I don't think you want to eat it.
Yeah, all the hands on it. No, thank you. Yeah, now that I think about it.
It's got quite the shelf life.